show you.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Wanna Play. My name is James McKenna, and today we will be looking at one of my all-time favorite horror movies for the walkthrough, because today we will be looking at Hellraiser. Hellraiser is an awesome movie. Doug Bradley's performance in this is one of the greatest performances I've ever seen inside of a horror movie, and I think it gets a lot of unnecessary hate because the sequels of this movie they're not good. They're really bad, a lot of them. So I feel like a lot of that gets traced back to this original movie, but I think that this original movie is one of the all-time classics. And fun fact about Hellraiser, it's my uncle's favorite movie. Shout out to you, Uncle Marty. You know what? How about this? You can go check out Uncle Marty's book. And you know what? His brother is Uncle Tim. So shout out to you, Uncle Tim, because he's a fan of the channel. What do you know? So yeah, Hellraiser is one of the greatest movies of all time. I'm talking horror. Directed by Clive Barker in his first directorial role, who would also go on to direct Candyman and his two sequels. Hellraiser, it just has to be classified as one of the all-time greats. Awesome lines in this movie. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. We open up with a puzzle box. This man, named Frank, is buying it, and he takes it back to his house. Surrounded in candles, he opens up the puzzle box, and then we see lightning effects, and then chains start digging into his skin. We go to a room full of dead meat, real dead meat, and then we meet the Cenobites. Chatterer, see why he's named that. Butterball, my personal favorite, because, I mean, look at him, he's just the coolest guy I've ever seen. The, female one, and the reigning champion of them all, Pinhead. We then meet Julia and Frank's brother Larry, who are looking to buy the old murder house. But then Larry does a bit of exploring and discovers a bowl full of maggots. Ew! After a bit of more exploring, Larry gets a call from her daughter, who's the Laurie Strode of the series, Kirsty. She tells him that she's out looking for a job, and then after a bit more exploring, they both decide that they want to move in. Once Kirsty's done getting flirted with by some poltergeist creeps, we get a flashback of Julia meeting Frank. Once we get back into real time, Julia gives her stepdaughter an unnerving stare before another flashback occurs showing that Frank forced an affair between the two of them. A bit later on though, this affair is pretty much going to be what fuels the entire movie. Julia walks into the old murder room, and then Larry walks in bleeding from his hand on the floor. And then later that night, the floorboards start to creak, and then after a gruesome formation scene, we meet at least what's left of Frank. Later that night, at a dinner party, Julia excuses herself saying that she's going to go to bed. But she heads into the old murder room where we get a fat Frank jump scare. Frank says that Larry's blood is what brought him back to life, sort of. And the only way he'll get fully complete is with the blood of more men. After a bit of pressuring, Julia agrees to help him. Then Kirsty sees, this. The next morning, Julia starts to flirt with a guy at a bar. She brings him home and takes him into the old murder room, but then when he takes off his pants, she hammers him in the head! What?! He gets eaten, or something, by Frank, and then the next time we see Frank, he's a little bit more complete, so his theory is correct. She somehow disposes of the body off screen, let's just not ask how she did that, and then Frank explains to her how he escaped the Cenobites, and that's how he's back to life. He says that he must get out of there, and then at Kirsty's animal job, we see a hobo eating animals? What? Why? Oh, another dead guy for Frank! And then the next time we see Frank, well, he's more complete than last time. He tells Julia a story of how the lads came in and abducted him after he opened the puzzle box. And then later on, when Julia and Larry are watching some boxing, Frank just screams upstairs for some reason. We get kind of a tension-filled scene as Larry goes and checks every room to see what's going on, as Julia tells him that it was nothing. But when he does eventually make it to the murder room, the only thing he sees is rats with nails in its neck, so yeah, nothing out of the ordinary there. Julia and Larry begin to make out on the bed, but then Frank comes out of the closet with the switchblade, but the only thing he does is just cut a rat's neck open. The next day at lunch, Larry tells Kirsty to come by the house more. She takes him up on this offer and comes by, but what she sees is Julia with her next victim going into the house. Frank kills the next victim, and then when Kirsty comes up the stairs, she sees this. Now all of a sudden Frank's thirsty for some Kirsty, so he takes her into the room. She sticks him in the roof though, and takes the box and throws it out the window. She goes to walk by herself on the sidewalk, but passes out due to the shock of all this. She wakes up in the hospital and the doctor comes in with a pinhead box asking if it'll jog her memory. He leaves her alone though, and then she begins to meddle with it. But when she solves it, the wall opens up to reveal an endless hallway. She hears a baby crying that we heard a little bit earlier, so she decides to walk down the hallway. She eventually stumbles across this, which is part scary but part hilarious, which chases her down the hallway, but she eventually makes it back into her room. We get some shining visions such as steaming black walls, TV static roses, and a bloody IV. But then, oh, here comes the lads!
The box. You opened it. We came.
Chatterer puts her in the mandible claw, Pinhead says some more awesome lines.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
And then Butterball just kind of stands there. Hey, but don't get on Butterball, he's probably the coolest cat in the jungle. Oh, more epic Pinhead lines.
We'll tear your soul apart.
But Kirsty manages to make a deal with the lads, saying that she'll exchange her soul for the recently escaped Frank's. Kirsty then runs home to her father, but uh-oh, that doesn't sound like no Larry to me.
Whatever Frank did was unspeakable. It's unspeakable.
But when Kirsty goes to check out the room, Frank seems to be dead again. But then her dad says Frank's catchphrase,
Come to Daddy.
which pretty much confirms all his suspicion. He comes at Kirsty with the switchblade, but she sidesteps it and he kills Julia instead by accident. We begin the slowest chase scene of all time, but then Kirsty gets scared out of her hiding spot by a dead maggot house. Frank catches her on the balcony and drags her into the room, but before anything can happen, the lads show up again to put an end to all of this. He goes to kill Kirsty anyway, but then he gets hooked through the hand. They hook him up a little bit more. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say a little bit more? I meant a whole hell of a lot more. And then in an actually pretty good looking effect, they tear his face open with the chains. Kirsty goes to make her escape, but she gets chased up the stairs by the female one. Pinhead then says the coolest line in the movie.
We have such sights to show you.
But she makes short work of him with the magic of the Pinhead box. She kills the rest of the lads with the magic of the box. Yes, even Butterball. Sorry to say it, rest in peace, guy. But when she goes to make her escape again, she gets ambushed by the lizard scorpion Pennywise boy. She defeats him too though, and then once she leaves the house it starts glowing in a weird way, and then she burns a couple pictures of Frank, as well as the Pinhead box. But then Hobo Joe randomly shows up again, and oh, what the hell is this now? The picture zooms out into a circle to reveal the same shot of the box from the beginning. And with that comes, end of movie. But wait. Oh. What is this little gadget? Oh, hey, I'm gonna give the first award to my favorite part, which, in my opinion, my favorite part, obviously it would be my opinion, is my favorite part. But my favorite part has to go to Frank's death. The way that his head exploded in an awesome looking effect back in 1987, it's better than a lot of effects that nowadays can go for. And the way that Frank is about to stab Kirsty, but then he gets hooked through the hand out of absolutely nowhere. The lads pulled up, all shamed him, and killed him. It was a great scene. I mean, Butterball was in it, him and his awesome looking shades. I mean, yeah, what else is there to ask for? This is a great kill, a great moment in the movie. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it has to go to my favorite part. Honestly, my favorite part could go for a lot of parts in this movie, but ultimately I'm going to give it to this one, because I think it's just the best looking. Best character is going to go to, well, might catch a few of you off guard, but is it Pinhead? Nope. Is it Kirsty? Nope. Is it Julia? Nope. Frank? Nope. Larry? Nope. Hobo Joe? Nope. No, it's gonna be one of the Cenobites. You know, Pinhead is a Cenobite, and I mentioned him. But the Cenobite Butterball! Because, I mean, look at the guy. He's the coolest guy out there. Him and his British circle of shades. I mean, look. Name one person cooler than Butterball and his awesome shape. He's just the coolest guy out there. I mean, this could partially be because of Kirsty and Pinhead are involved in some of the other movies, and if for whatever reason I decide to cover some of those, I mean, okay, 2 isn't bad, 3 isn't bad, and I actually do enjoy 5, But yeah, if I ever do decide to cover those, then I want to save those two characters for them. But no, I'd even say that Butterball is the best in this movie, better than them. The only really bad thing about him is that he only ever appears in one more Hellraiser movie, which is Hellraiser 2, which kind of alone inspires me to do that one next, but unfortunately it's probably not going to be next. It could be. I don't know, I haven't made up my mind. It's on the list of a couple that I want to do. But yeah, best characters. I go to Butterball, doesn't it? Worst character is gonna go to Hobo Joe, because why is he there? That's it. Why is he there? There's no reason for him to be there. He eats a couple animals, doesn't die in a fire, and that's it. Worst character. I'm gonna have to give the scariest scene, though, to Frank and Julia's first conversation. The eeriness of it in the new house, because once again, like my last two, you don't really know what's coming right now, you don't really know what's happening, and this scene just builds up. It's her walking around, you don't know if Frank's gonna be there, and then you get that jump scare out of absolutely nowhere of Frank's hand. The best jump scare in the movie by a long shot, and yeah, it's gotta go to this because it's very scary, it's very awesomely lit, so it's creepy, and especially the makeup. My God, the makeup they give Frank, so overdone, but so beautifully overdone in the process. Terrifying, but beautiful, and it has to be the scariest scene. The most iconic line goes to,
We have such sights to show you.
for a couple reasons. Well, one, because it's in my intro, and two, a lot of people, when they see Doug Bradley, they interview him, they ask him to say this line more because it probably is the best delivered line that he does, and my God, he has some awesomely delivered lines in this film. But yeah, I'd have to give it to this because it really is the most iconic. I mean, pretty much for the same reasons as all the other most iconic lines. It's because it's the most associated with the movie, it's the best delivered, and yeah, it's what's Pinhead is most famous for. I mean, he sure as hell isn't famous for, "How's that for a wake-up call?" which is an actual line he says in the 7th movie. I mean, hey, they even referenced it in an episode of Scooby-Doo.
All my stuff. Even this stupid puzzle box, which doesn't seem to have any use whatsoever. Who the heck can that be?
Oh, such sights.
So yeah, it's gotta go to this. It's an awesome line, and yes, probably the most memorable part of this entire movie. As good as this movie is, and as much fun I had making it, every movie does have to have its dumbest moment. And the dumbest moment is this one, is when Kirsty first opens the puzzle box. Not that part, and not the part where the wall opens up, but the part where she gets chased by a big... I still don't know what that is, guys. I don't. Scorpion? Lobster? Scorpster? I mean, yeah, why not? It's got big teeth. And it's kind of like a... It's like an Alaskan bullworm! And I mean, in SpongeBob, that is pretty scary, not gonna lie. But the way that they did it in Hellraiser, I don't know, I don't like it. It's very dumb, I don't know why. Like, why couldn't they have just had the female one chase her down or something? That would have been better, in my opinion at least. And we didn't need him at the end either. So yeah, I just gotta have the dumbest moment to this one. The best kill, as I previously sort of mentioned, is gonna have to go to Frank. Because, I mean, it's just a very well-made kill. Very well graphics, as I said before, and also it was just a very original kill as well. I mean, when else do you see people getting their faces exploded open with chains? You don't, apart from probably like every other movie in the series. I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen them all. But yeah, this has to be the best kill. It's just awesome. Look at it again.
Jesus wept.
My God, is that a great kill. But yeah, this has to be the best kill. I already discussed it in the walkthrough itself and also in the first award, so can't really explain much more than I already did. So yeah, I mean, the best kill is gonna go to Frank. Worst kill has a couple of options. I mean, you got the guy who popped out during the chase scene who, I'm not 100% sure, but the maggot guy, I think is one of Julia's victims. I don't know, they never really specified, but that's what I'm assuming he is. But yeah, he could be the worst kill. There's a couple of other ones running for it. I mean, Butterball is definitely up there because he's Butterball and he shouldn't be dead. But no, I'm going to have to give the worst kill to Julia because, well, she was a very evil character. I mean, Pinhead is definitely the overall monster of the series, but I feel like the monster, the evil villain who killed the most people, or helped kill the most people at least, has to be Julia, so I feel like she deserved a better death. Maybe she could have gotten a death like Frank's, maybe not the exact same because it wouldn't have been, you know, creative or original. But maybe something as graphic as that, but no, all that happened was Frank kind of went at her with a switchblade, or she was holding Christy. Frank went at her with a switchblade, Kirsty went like, and he went like, whoa, right into Julia, which is very dumb, kind of stabbed her in the chest, and I was like, what's going on? Julia should have had a better death, in my opinion. It's not that it's a bad death, I feel like it just should have been better. That's why it's the worst kill. But before we get to the outro, I do want to give a quick shout out. Not a shout out that was requested of me, we're not trading back shout outs or anything. But if you want to see the entire Hellraiser franchise covered in one video, a very, very entertaining video that explains it all, is Paul Zigo from Cinema for Cynics. Unfortunately, the channel isn't active anymore, but I will leave a thing right up there for you to check out. Yeah, it is a very entertaining video, very funny. This guy is hilarious. I've been a long time subscriber for Cinema for Cynics, and yeah, if you want to see the entire Hellraiser franchise kind of roasted in a way, movie by movie, yeah, you gotta go check out Cinema for Cynics. And hey, while we're giving shoutouts, we might as well give a shout out to my Uncle Tim, who I mentioned earlier in this video, who, well, surprise, surprise, he has a YouTube channel of his own where he reviews wine, I believe. So yeah, go check that out right up there. It will be. It's called Kombucha Library TV. It's pretty entertaining, not gonna lie. So yeah, go check that out. It's pretty cool. Thanks for watching my walkthrough on one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion, of course, Hellraiser. Now, as I said, yeah, it's just one of the best. Directed by Clive Barker, this movie is awesome. One of the most 80s horror movies you could ever imagine. Well, that's what you think, because this is actually very, very, very different. This is not your stereotypical slasher. You know, slasher characters, they don't open up walls and appear with lightning forms using puzzle boxes. So yeah, let me know what you think about Hellraiser. As I said, it is my uncle's favorite movie, and I mean, this guy's smart. I mean, look. He wrote a book about World War II. Look, this is an actual thing. Look, like really, if I can find a link to it, I'll leave it below, or maybe up there, because why not? So yeah, he's a pretty smart guy, and if this is his favorite movie, then it's gotta be at least decent, right? But yeah, this movie is awesome, all jokes aside. This is one of the best, and yeah, I've been brainstorming a lot of ideas recently because of all this extra time I've had. I'm thinking of doing the top 10 best movies from the 80s. I've came up with a whole bunch of different walkthroughs that I could do. Misery, Silence of the Lambs, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, because why not? So yeah, I guess you'll have to stay tuned until then. Of course, uploads will happen every Sunday. So yeah, until the next Sunday, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, and good night. Bang!